After using the requirements to define an initial set of classes, evaluate them for coupling and cohesion. Recall that coupling is the degree to which classes are dependent upon other classes or external resources. To reduce coupling, extract dependencies into their own classes. Minimizing coupling makes an application easier to test and maintain because the dependencies are encapsulated. For example, each of our entity classes had retrieve and save methods that would access a data store. Decouple the main entity classes from the data store by adding a repository class to encapsulate the data access logic. Cohesion is a measure of how related the members of a class are to the purpose of the class. To increase cohesion, extract unrelated members into their own classes. Maximizing cohesion makes an application easier to understand, test, and maintain because each class is more focused on a single purpose. For example, there are quite a few properties and business rules for managing an address. Improve cohesion by moving the responsibility for managing addresses into a separate class. We've covered a few additional concepts. The principle of separation of concerns is the idea that an application is decomposed into classes with minimal overlap. Each class is responsible for a separate concern. Our customer class is now concerned only with managing a customer. The address class is concerned with managing addresses, and the customer repository class is concerned with getting data into and out of the data store. YAGNI is the acronym for You Aren't Going to Need It. It is a principle that focuses on what is important for today. How many times have you built in some hook or designed in a feature that was never actually implemented, or later implemented entirely different? We can't see what the future will bring, so it is best to focus on what is needed for today. You can think of design patterns as common practices or best practices for defining appropriate sets of classes and their relationships. If you are interested in learning more about design patterns, there are courses in the Pluralsight library on that topic. The Design Patterns On-Ramp course is a great place to start. In this module, we evaluated each class for coupling and cohesion to determine whether the class had too many responsibilities. Let's proceed to the third step of building an object-oriented application, establishing the relationships between the classes.